This is Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 455. I'm Brando. I'm here with Gary, and today we're going to teach Gary how to play Magic. Now, hit our theme song! Hey, Gary. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
What is going down?
Well done. A whole bunch is going down. I'm back with producer Gary yet again because Ryan is off healing his wounds, licking his wounds, if you will. We have some stories to tell, some people to thank, and some notes from our very own Ryan to make sure that we hit on all the points and get all of our dates right this time. But before we get to any of that, we have to thank our official business daddies, FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs. And Pile of Bones Brewing Co. They're the second coolest thing to come out of Regina. We forgot to put the stunt beers on the table today. Maybe Brooksy can find those in the fridge and bring them over here. They are also the official beer sponsor for CCO Sidewalk Slam Season 2 right here on YouTube.
Ooh, that was good.
Thank you.
That was very good. Very happy. I see them coming now. This is very well done.
Man,
it's almost like pros. We got like the server.
Oh, this is so nice. Thank you so much, Brooksy. That is lovely. You are just a gem and a scholar. I like that. Okay, there's the official advertising.
Beautiful.
And I guess that sort of does lead right into... Wait, hang on. Doesn't lead right into anything because we have to talk about Fusion for a second.
Yes.
So FusionGamingOnline.com. They are the best place to get your Duskmorn needs. Any of the cards we're going to talk about today. We're actually going to talk about some Magic today. I got some stories that I'm going to tell Gary, and he's going to go, what the flying flippin' fuck are you even saying?
All of those things.
And then I'm going to try and convince him to get involved in the stories the next time I have one. It's going to be a great deal of fun, and I hope that you guys will tag along with us for that.
Yes.
FusionGamingOnline.com. If Gary wants to buy any of those cards, he can use special promo code CCO Summer. Save himself off 5% off of all the things that he will inevitably buy. That includes deck boxes and sleeves and playmats and dice and all those things that you don't necessarily need to play Magic, signs the cards, but things that you're going to want to have because cards are an investment and you should take care of them because, let's be honest, this is an expensive game we're all playing, and if you can spend less on it, you should.
Hell yeah. Business daddies, bro.
They're business daddies. There it is. Now, where was I going before I did the plug?
I wanted to say two things very quickly here.
I love that. Okay.
Number one, talking about network, Ryan licking his wounds. Is he wearing one of those cones that stops him from licking his wounds?
When he was removed from the studio earlier today, forcibly by Rebecca, his wife.
Yes.
She did attach the cone.
I thought it was coming.
I thought that maybe he would have it on while he was kind of hanging out here. She let him out of the house.
Yes, it was very nice.
Come by because as everybody in the nation knows, Ryan loves to do work. Work is his favorite thing. He works each and every day for his whole life.
Yeah.
And now that he can't do work, he's going insane. Mm-hmm. And Rebecca was like, "Listen,
get this guy out of our
go to fucking work, but don't do any work." And then she texted all of us, "Okay, he's coming into work."
Oh, that's so funny.
But don't let him do any work.
Yeah.
So we had Ryan here, and he
tried. We didn't let him.
He was trying hard to work, and we wouldn't let him. But he gave us some notes. He gave us some insight. It was great to see him. He is doing very well. He wouldn't let me touch his staples, which is bullshit. But maybe next time.
Okay.
I don't want him to get an infection.
That's fair. That's number one. Number two, if people are wanting to listen to this show but not watch it, if you're listening, what should they do other than listening to the audio-only podcast? Should they watch it somewhere?
Oh, they should probably watch it on YouTube because it still looks really fucking hard to make us look cool.
God, did I ever mess up that setup so bad? But I couldn't have gone worse, but you still did all the stuff I was supposed to do and something on top. Very well done. And the screen behind us, thank you to all of our friends here at the Definite Avenue Media Network, including producer LB on the ones and twos today.
Man, what a good guy. That's
the best guy. He's staying late just for us, which is absolutely fantastic. So we appreciate that a lot.
Yes, we have thanked LB many times on the show. We have thanked producer Gary many times on the show for giving us this great space to record in. And if you'd like to be a part of it, DufferinAvenue.com is your way into that.
And this is also, for me, when I'm producing in there, it's also my cue to start the slideshow for the back screen.
Oh, yeah, and then you can see all the other stuff.
Yeah. So then he knows, okay, and then it's time to go to stage 2.
Okay, let's
get the notes come out.
Let's get the rest of the business out of the way so we can get straight into the magical content of the show.
Yes.
Episode 455, we have a returning patron that we're supposed to talk about. So as you know, patreon.com/CCO Podcast. If you're in a position to help the channel grow, it means a lot to us to be able. It gets us to events, it gets to all that stuff, and it just helps keep CCO going. We really appreciate it. We appreciate our community and all the people that contribute to it, including this returner, Mike Flucher.
Oh, I can see.
And his nickname is either Meat Flute, but we have two Flutures, believe it or not. So he's either Meat Flute or Meat Toot.
What about meat cute? I just learned that that's an actual thing that people say and it represents something.
What?
Yeah, it's like if you meet someone in a movie and it's super cute, they call it a meet cute, and it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. And I get so angry whenever I even think about that being a thing.
Hey, wait, we got Brooksy in the house. She's the voice of the millennials. Is that real?
No.
That
Not real.
She's lying. Look at her. She's got her lying face on.
I've never heard that.
This is. I feel like we've debunked it right here.
Ugly Kid Joel was the one that told me.
Man, you can't listen to anything that guy says.
But his
That
songs
guy
are so
is-
good.
His what?
Cats in the Cradle and the Silver Ugly Kid Joel. Well, that's Ugly Kid Joe. My bad.
What?
Sorry.
What is happening?
Meat cute. Not to be confused with meat flute or meat
Toot. One of them is a penis. The other one is a fart.
Which one are we going with?
It's one of the two. But welcome back. We're happy to have you back, and F you for being here.
F you. Indeed.
Where can we meet our wonderful patrons
Ooh.
and our other human beings that like to participate in the show, just like to play Magic? Maybe they're not in the position to help us grow, but they are in a position to help us be successful as we are, and we appreciate you for it. You can meet us at the following events. We're going to do it real fast. Regina, September 14th. That's in 2 weeks. We're going to be down at the face-to-face games thingy. Are you going to come to any of these?
I really want to get to the Calgary one. I'm gone. I have a birthday party on September 14th. But obviously the Toronto one might be hard. But the Calgary one I think we can do.
Okay, there we go.
I
So
have
if
to
you
come
want
to
to meet
one.
producer Gary, and you do want to meet producer Gary, this guy's...
I want to see where all that
Fucking
Patreon money is going. Like these CCO houses that you have like in Vegas and the parties you guys throw, you make it sound like the greatest time ever.
It's because it is.
Thanks to you. And
Yeah, because thanks to you.
the way you support this incredible family.
We do very, very
cool.
well. And
Yes.
well, in our events, like we do our
It's so
thing.
cool.
But
It's
we're
party
here.
house. You just throw big parties in houses that are nice. It's
Yes.
like the coolest thing.
We do it for you guys. It's
Yeah.
what we're here for.
So I really want to get. I feel like Calgary might be a good chance for that to
If
happen.
we have some extra stuff kicking around, we like to make sure that our patrons can like be a part of the thing, be a part of the experience, because that's what we're all about here.
Live the gimmick.
That's right.
Hell
Exactly.
yeah.
And can it be difficult? Yes. Is
Yes,
it
it
worth
can.
it?
Yeah.
Also, yes. So, Regina,
much, yeah.
September 14th. That's in a couple of weekends. We're going to be down there. We've got the event on Saturday, followed by the after party at the Pile of Bones tap room. It's got pinball and drinks and us and food, and we're having a great time.
And Rusty Trom Jones.
Rusty Trom Jones.
Is that
just
true?
Confirmed.
That's true. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Coming out
Best
from
name it
Vancouver.
is.
Man,
Love that name.
I'm very excited to see him again. We're going to talk Sega Saturn games and drink beer.
Best night of my life.
Right? It sounds like a great time.
Well, your life. You're so
Yes.
lucky.
Well, you're welcome to come
I
out. Everybody's
appreciate
welcome
that.
to come out. The next weekend, now this one is, as we're sitting here right now, still confirmed. Our buddy Ryan is going to be at Command Fest Toronto, September 26th to 29th. He's going to be hosting an after party with some trivia that I'm currently working on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody's going to have a really good time. But there is a very, very, very small chance, and we will keep you updated on this, that with his surgery and the travel and the pain that he is in, he might not be able to make it. But as it stands right now, that's a very low possibility, but we will keep everybody informed. So if you're going out there, hopefully to meet Ryan and sign his cast and all that kind of good stuff, we'll keep you up to date on that one. And the big one coming up, Gary talked about it already, November 15th to 17th, Calgary, Alberta,
That's what I'm talking about.
Championship Weekend. We're going to be there. We're going to have a booth. We're going to have the merch. We're going to have the nation. We're going to have the house. We're going to have the parties. We're going to have a great effing time at the first ever Western Canada CCO house experience. It's going to be a great time.
I'm going to run through a wall right now.
See? And I mean, somebody might. Somebody might. You never know what's going to happen. We threw people in
Kool-Aid guy.
pools.
Kool-Aid
One of the houses that we were at, instead of having the waterproof stuff on the walls, so the water doesn't like rot the boards out.
Yeah.
They just had another sliding shower door. And I assume it's because somebody ran through the wall. I'm guessing.
It's a
Man,
great
that was
guess.
That was exciting. So that's all the notes. So
hey, they almost came back to you.
There's what we think of that, man.
If they come back to that, means they're yours forever.
Oh man, I'm glad that landed landed in Jake the Snake Plant. He's just off camera there.
Thank you for acknowledging Mr. Snake. He doesn't get any love lately, but he is sort of an asshole.
Well, he's kind of a dick. He's very political. And
we put him on the show one time, and he just went straight into politics and religion, and it's like, oh, dude, wrong place, bro.
Speaking
of snake humor outside.
I lied. We're not going to get straight to Magic. We're going to talk about something else because I think that you will have some insights on this, and I assume that some of the other people out there might as well. So, have you heard about the Mr. McMahon documentary, 6-part miniseries coming out on Netflix?
Yes, I have.
Are you excited for that too?
I don't know if I am because
it's definitely turned into a Netflix hit piece.
Yeah, like it's
and baby,
like I don't know if I'm ready. Just like I want the cancellation of the piece of human garbage that is Vincent Kennedy McMahon to go on forever. And I feel like once this is out, people just sort of forget about how shitty he was. I don't know if I like that.
I don't know, man, because
he was very horrible.
Because they recorded it, but they've obviously got the court case allegations, which we're not going to get into because they actually are pretty gross. But I'm really interested because I'll bet you everybody listening right now, whether wrestling fans or not, everybody knows what wrestling is.
Yes.
Everybody knows who like Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock or Hulk Hogan. Everybody knows who those guys are. And I have to say it. We probably don't know those guys if it's not for Vince McMahon.
There's no probably. It's 1,000% we wouldn't.
So the fact that this man, who we probably all figured he was...
We knew from the start, not a good person.
We all knew he was pretty fucked up.
That was part of the problem, I think, too.
But now we're going to get to see it because now he's been disgraced and he has no clout, and I'll bet you they're going to take a shit on that guy for 15 stories, and I'm here for it.
The biggest shit. Yeah, just bury that.
Oh, it's just a big old mango-sized turd, right?
Yeah. So I'm totally with you in that I want to watch it. I don't know if it's going to be enough for what that guy deserves. So here's hoping.
I've got faith. Yeah. I don't have faith in a lot, but I do have faith in the Netflix hit piece. Because you know what?
They go
Netflix,
after people. They love
more money than Vince McMahon. Yeah. And if we've learned anything, it's the more money you have sometimes. But for good this time, which is amazing.
And this is right before the WWE moves to Netflix.
Yep.
Funny how that works, eh? Bring all the crowd in and be like, all right, watch your shows here.
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
Very cool,
man. Yeah. How far do you think they're going to push it once Raw is on Netflix? Do you think that
there's talk that we could be going straight up like mature rating, like
you think
like full nudity, full cursing, the whole 9 yards?
Like, do you think Bo Dallas cannibalizes a job guy?
I think so. I think why wouldn't they now?
Because they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, the only thing holding them back was ratings.
They can,
CRTC or whatever.
Yeah, but now they don't have that.
Yeah, it's all lifted.
I wonder how do the streaming services get around that? You know,
that's a great question.
Because we're here on YouTube, and we can say whatever we want, but there's like an AI,
there's police,
Big Brother that looks after us to make sure that we're not doing anything wrong. Not that we would, but
not slandering or being horrible human beings.
I wonder how the Netflixes and the Primes and them
That's a great question.
It's because people make it sound like you could just do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
I literally just did that.
Yeah,
it's like you could do it there. That's like the rumors are that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm pumped.
It's going to be very cool. Yeah, it's going to bring a lot of people back to wrestling, I think.
I hope so. Yeah, because wrestling is a mutual interest of ours, and if it's one of yours too, here's a chance. Maybe it'll and it's pretty good right now, actually.
Little bit of a crossover with all this because a lot of us are nerds in different ways.
Yeah, cool. Very very nicely done.
I like that.
Other things that we're both into.
Yes.
Video games.
Yes.
I'm going to try and use video games today to try and determine Gary's intro deck into Magic the Gathering. And this might work because this is pretty cool because we have a very active community.
Yes.
In Commander Cookout. CCO Nation, we call them. And I just thought of this now. That's why I'm kind of pausing as I talk because I'm formulating the idea as I go.
I love it.
The next couple of episodes are going to be Duskmourn previews. We're going to talk legendary creatures, all those cards. But after that, I ain't got really no plans. So maybe, for those of you watching and listening at home, maybe what we should do is in the Discord and in the comment section of this video, we could maybe suggest some commanders based on Gary's reaction that he might like to build, some cards that can go in it, and then maybe we can do a community build for our boy Gary, and then when we eventually get him and Hardcore onto Sidewalk Slam, he'll have a deck to play.
Yes!
That would be fun.
Sorry, I got excited.
That'd be fun. I think that would be really cool. So
I accept. I will marry you.
Oh,
yeah.
Will you marry me?
Sorry, I did it wrong.
Oh, yeah. That was
Watch
it.
it, man.
We were all there, man. Why are they gonna
I
be
just keep
gone?
derailing. I'm so sorry. I just get so excited.
Don't.
I really think this is an incredible plan because we're finally talking about the first actual step of getting into this thing that I've been on the outside looking in for so long.
Yeah, and we're going to try and get some other people in here as well.
Yes.
And let me hit you with this. We talked about it a little bit on the pre-show. I'm going to tell a gameplay story that I think people are going to be hopefully interested in.
Okay.
So the Necro Bloom came out in a set called Modern Horizons 3. We recorded that episode here. You might not remember that I said it was the most powerful commander in the set.
I do remember that. Marty Ho Ho Ho.
That's the one. Yes,
I
very
remember
good.
this. Yeah.
And that's including Toucan Sam, who is so irrelevant at this point we've forgotten his name, even though he ruined a bunch of formats. We talked about him last week.
I saw the card literally with Toucan Sam painted on it finally.
Nadu.
So,
there it is. That's
the
his name.
thing. It's
Nadu.
awesome. Yeah.
So I got the Necro Bloom. I finally got it built to a point where I was willing to show it in public.
Wow.
Okay. And I've taken it out. It's played 3 games. Okay. And with the exception of me taking a card out of it to put in a deck because I wanted to talk about it on the show, and because I physically did that in real life as well, I forgot to put it back in.
Oh, no.
And so I needed that one card, but it has 100% win rate.
The card does?
The deck does.
Okay.
Except for one game that I would have won, but I forgot to put this one card back in it. So but I'm counting that for the purposes of this story. So what's been happening is I'm playing Dredge. And Dredge is my very favorite legacy deck of all time.
Okay.
It's my favorite mechanic within Magic. If you were to classify it under the 4 basic categories of decks that we'll talk about a little bit or a little bit more a little bit later.
Nice.
There we go.
Got it.
It's a combo deck. It's a very strange combo deck because Dredge is the only deck in Magic that does what Dredge does. Only Dredge does Dredge things. And that's why it's so good. Because most decks, especially at the casualer tables, just aren't equipped to deal with it. It's like if you were to show up and you're playing, you bring Street Fighter 2 Ryu to the fight. Okay. So you're playing Street Fighter 2 Ryu. No throw cancel, no supers, none of that stuff. Okay? No air block.
No.
It's just 3 punches, 3 kicks, Shoryuken Hadouken, Yatsumenki Senpu Kyaku.
Meant to be played.
The way Capcom intended.
Yes.
But somebody else shows up, and they're playing Deadpool from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Bro.
Not the same game.
Nope.
Not the same. Deadpool's going to grab his health bar and hit you with it.
Yeah.
It's a real move in the game.
Like actually from the top of the screen?
Yep. It's a super move that he does. He hits you with his own life bar.
Dude, Deadpool, he's everywhere.
It checks out.
Yeah, that's his style.
So it's just, that's what Dredge and other Magic is like playing. It's not the same.
Okay.
And I'm discovering that the way my deck is built, it's doing exactly what Dredge does, but what we used to call it around here, I don't know if this is a common term in Magic, but maybe it is. If you've heard it, please let me know. I'm game 1 dredging everybody. And in 6 and 4 Magic, game 1 Dredge just beats you game 1. That's just what happens.
So just to be clear, so I can stick with your Dredge is the name of the card.
Dredge is a mechanic that goes onto cards.
Okay.
So it allows your cards to do, instead of drawing a card on your turn, it lets you take a specific number of cards off the top of your library and put them into your graveyard.
Okay.
And then the deck is designed to interact from there instead of from your hand.
It's like opening. Oh, that's so cool. So it's basically like, if you were to use a sports reference, I know Ryan would love this. It's like a pitcher throwing a pitch, same pitch fastball, but different arm slots or different angles of throwing it, and the way you present it makes it a totally different pitch. So if you come right over the top of the four-seam fastball, it's going to go straight. But if you put an angle on it or if you side it, it's going to have a little bit of spin, and it's going to act differently when it's hitting the plate.
Yes, that is very accurate, but we have to push it a little further by adding the rule to baseball in this case, where if you bean the batter,
very possible,
they're out.
Oh, I like that.
Instead of being on first base,
I want to throw it crazy over here. And okay.
Right? That's the difference. So game one dredging somebody is where like their deck isn't designed to beat it or interact with it. So you just kill them. And in 60 and 4 Magic, there's a whole bunch of things you can do to mitigate the damage in games 2 and 3 because it's a best of 3 format.
Yes.
In Commander, it's not. It's one and done. So you're game 1 dredging everybody. Hey, thanks. You fucks.
And that's it.
And you move along. So it's I'm having a really hard time like, well, do I just not play this? Because I can't make it not dredge, but dredge does what dredge does and you win.
Like you said, the fact you have a 100% win rate, you're like the team that wins all the time forever, that everyone hates, like the Patriots.
And it's across 6 games. That's not a small sample size. And in Magic, that's
a lot.
Right? Like, that's a big win percentage. And again, there's an asterisk on there because I would have won the game, but I forgot to take a card out of another thing and put it in. But that's not the point. So I'm thinking, damn, like, what? I'm going up the ladder, like, man, because Dredge is like an offshoot of Combo, and it's a deck that you kind of play on your own. And your other players are into it because it's non-deterministic, so it's kind of luck-based, so I could possibly not get it, but I have gotten it each time.
And is there a reason why most decks don't have a counter for Dredge?
Because it just, instead of... Magic is a game of archetypes and I want to say standard lists because it makes it sound like everything's the same, but that's not true. But Magic is a game of like kind of being prepared for X and Y and Z, and in a lot of cases, Dredge is Q. And because it's fallen so far out of favor, a lot of people don't necessarily pack hate for it. Like they don't necessarily have the counter for it, and if they do, they've got 1 or 2 in their deck, and if they don't draw it in the 4 or 5 turns it takes me to kill you, you lose.
That's it.
And again, it sounds like I'm bragging. Oh, I'm so good. This deck is unbeatable. But it's not. It's not.
It's the opposite. It's literally the opposite. You're unhappy that it's so good.
Yeah, I'm unhappy that it does because I've been trying to make it be less good, and it's not working. And it's very frustrating to me because I want it to be Dredge because I love Dredge, but it's my favorite.
Imagine how the losers feel when you're getting angry and frustrated because you're winning.
Yeah, it's like, God damn it,
this asshole.
Just make the deck less good. It's like, I can't do it. Like, it's just, God damn it.
Doesn't happen.
So it's one of the decks that kind of saved my interest in the game was Dredge. Crazy. Legacy Dredge was one of the things that like, kind of got me back in. It was like, I can interact with the game. Because if you've watched the show for a long time and you've listened to the back episodes and stuff, you'll know that my favorite thing in Magic is playing Magic with my friends while I'm not playing Magic. I'm playing Dredge, or I'm doing Hirobi stuff. Or
his own thing.
Right? This is my thing that I'm playing, and we're all here having fun, but I'm having different fun because Magic is fun, but like it's way more fun when you're playing something else. Yeah. Right? It's super fun. So that's the thing that got me into it. And I got to thinking, what would it take to get Gary into Magic the Gathering? Like, does the deck I just described to you sound like something you'd like to do? Or does it sound like, man, I want to feel like a scumbag piece of shit all the time?
You would think that I would want to win, but you made winning sound so shitty. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to do whatever it is you just described. That sounds horrible.
I don't want to win at all. No. Well, we talked about it last week. The Commander is different in Magic because it's a social format, and it's kind of a... I hate talking about Rule 0, which is the conversation you have before the game, and you talk about the game experience you want. I don't believe in it. I don't think that...
People do that?
Yeah. They're like, well, you know, how strong are our decks? How much... Like, what are we... So that everybody gets to have fun, because Commander's a social format, and we all want to have fun.
I imagine it doesn't have very much of competitive games.
It does, because the people who play Commander or competitive EDH are there to play competitive EDH, so they know what's up. They know that everybody's just there to slit each other's throats and cut their balls off and fucking stick them up your ass and win.
You know, have fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they have fun. Right? That's fun for them. And it's not fun for everybody, but that's not the point. The point is there's a way to play Commander that is fun for everybody. And we're going to try and find out yours.
I'm very excited to do that.
We're going to do it today. We're going to do it right now.
We're going to find that out.
And the first thing we got to do is find out what's the type of deck that Gary would like to play. We talked about archetypes last time.
Yes.
And so we're going to run those down a little bit. I'm going to describe them to you. And you are going to tell me whether or not you like them. And at the end, we're going to pick the archetype that we're going to build for Gary.
It's like a questionnaire.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start with my personal all-time favorite type of deck because obviously, everybody, I'm going to give you to the count of 3 to guess what archetype is my favorite. Count to 3, Gary.
1, 2, 3.
It's aggro. Everybody said it was aggro. Everybody knows it's aggro.
I even knew it was aggro.
There, see,
That's crazy. I didn't want to say it because I thought I would embarrass myself, but that would have been awesome if I would have nailed it.
That would have been very good.
It's only because it's the only one I know.
You should have said it.
Wow.
And you know it because it's the best, because it's my favorite,
It's
right?
yours. It's your go-to.
If you were to compare it to a type of video game, an aggro deck would be like a non-competitive multiplayer shooter game. Think Borderlands.
Oh, we love Borderlands.
Think Doom. Yeah. Think, maybe, I guess maybe Quake. Do people still play Quake? Is that still a game? I don't even know if Quake is still a game.
But it had its spot. That was the game for so long. That's what got us to these.
But it's one of those games where you're interacting with other players. You're not necessarily on a team with anybody, but you can kind of politic your way into, well, I'm doing this, so you shouldn't stop me from doing a thing. So you get to interact with your buddies at the table, and you get to do like the big kind of splashy things, and you're available to play like the biggest, meanest, scariest creature. You get big numbers on the table, which people seem to like.
Is the Brash Taunter a member of an aggro deck?
Say it right, Gary.
Brash Taunter!
Much better. Thank you.
I think I blew my voice out there.
For the record, Brash Taunter goes in every deck.
Hey, say it right.
Brash Taunter!
See, I was trying to do it like that.
Goes in every deck.
Of course.
He's the best card of all time. He's the handsomest. He's the strongest. He's the most versatile. That's why he goes in every deck.
Okay.
Brash Taunter in an aggro deck would typically come into play and then use his Brash Taunter ability to fight one of your giant bros that you've just slapped somebody's lips off to stomp somebody else's dink into the dirt. That's what Brash Taunter does.
Every time we talk about Brash Taunter, I figure out more and more why you love him so much.
If you want to get around having to say it like that every time, our boy BT. Let's call him
Perfect.
our boy BT.
Okay. BT.
That's where he would go in an aggro deck. So aggro is about playing big creatures. It's about turning them sideways during the combat step, stomping people into the ground. And again, it gives you a lot of play with your opponents. Because it's like, nah, man, I'm doing this thing. Don't hit me. Or like, man, you're a total piece of shit. I'm going to get you, right? Like, there's lots of table talk that goes on. You have to kind of interact with people. You don't necessarily have to all the time, but it helps.
That's this. I like that because, well, mostly because it's your way.
Yeah,
it's like a Brando's way.
So I'm going to talk it up because
you make it sound very enticing.
Of course I do. Does Wendy sound enticed by that?
Well, she gives
a thumbs up. Thumbs up. That sounds good.
That's a thumbs up.
I like that lots.
Yeah,
I like that very
much.
So
that's aggro.
That's aggro. Typically with aggro, you're going to play red and or green. That's Gruul. You might see a little bit of white splashed in there, depending on if you've got a token strategy going on, where you're going to have, instead of a few giant dudes, you're going to have a bunch of little ones. Typically, you'll have some white in there. But if you've got like the biggest, meanest, scariest looking creatures also, maybe you'll splash a little black in.
Jeez. That's all 5 colors right there.
I haven't talked about blue. Isn't really blue isn't typically an aggro color. It can be. Okay. It is there, but not all the time.
So aggro is very versatile when it comes to colors.
Yes.
Okay.
You can play aggro in any color that you want. Typically, you're going to have red and green though. Those are your dominant. Those are the big slap you around creature colors.
I like that.
The next type of deck, we're going to go from my most favoritist to my least favoritist. And it's not my least favorite because it's bad. It's my least favorite because I'm bad at it. And that's control decks. Control decks are, and people might disagree with me on this, but I don't think they will. They're the most social kind of deck that there is.
I like the sound of that.
They are the absolute pinnacle of interacting with your friends at the table every turn, whether it's yours or theirs. And what the deck is designed to do is control the flow of the game, both mechanically with cards and game pieces, but also, and this is the part that I believe why people like to play control, is you get to counter spells with your face.
Please explain more. I love this.
Where somebody goes, I'm going to do X or Y. And you say, that's me raising the eyebrow at you. I raised the eyebrow.
The first time.
I don't know if
he's the rocking us.
I don't know if you could hear it on the podcast feed.
Can you smell it? The rock's cooking.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. Someday people will be able to smell us. They're gonna be like, man, those guys were sweating so bad. Those lights are bright and hot.
You should be.
Well done. And so the commander deck is you can talk somebody out of doing something, even if you don't have action in your hand.
Like the diplomat.
Right,
This is the
it's the most political. You're talking to your buds. You're involved in every game decision if you want to.
Is there a lot of scheming? Like, do you have to
absolutely.
be greasy? Like, can it be kind? Like we talked about hug decks before a little bit. Like, is there any of that involved with this?
Yes, there is, but it's also in the same way I say group hug doesn't truly exist. Our boy Thomas, I was going to invite him to come on with us today.
Thomas. We saw him at the Gambate convention. He's so sweet.
And we were going to talk group hug, and then at the end see if you thought that it was real, but he couldn't make it today. So here we are.
Are you telling me that I could have saw Thomas today?
Yep.
I'm very upset.
He's a nurse.
Very upset.
He's an ER nurse. He does great jobs and great things that none of us here are capable or willing to do, and he does them for us so that we don't have to. And,
so sweet.
And we appreciate that very much.
We love you, Thomas.
So instead, we're here. Group hug doesn't exist. But yes, that is the kind of deck that group hug is, but instead of stopping you from doing whatever you're doing or messing with your game plan until we can get our thing to do, group hug is designed to go, no, don't mess with me. Just mess with little Brookman. Get him instead. And then you kill them in the same way. Because typically what control will do is it'll either stop you from doing a thing or convince you to not do a thing. It'll say nice doggy until it finds a big stick.
Ooh, that's good.
Right? I don't necessarily like that example because you know what the stick's going to do. Obviously be fetched by the dog, who will now be your friend. But that's kind of what control does.
Should have turned my phone off. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'll have to just... No, that doesn't work anyway. Phones are the worst.
Yeah,
I apologize.
I'll give you the garden hose later.
Yeah, I again deserved.
So control deck.
And just when I say I'm going to turn it off.
Put it in the fridge.
How do I'm going to message. I'm going to say, sorry, I can't talk right now. There you go.
There it is, that freaking guy. Control decks typically are going to be your blue and your white.
Okay.
Blue is the counter spell thing. I'm going to play big purple and gray dragon.
Yes.
You say counter spell, asshole, and then it just goes into their discard pile, and that's it.
That's it.
That's the end of that. And that's why it's so political. Like, are you sure?
Can you say it exactly like that? Counter spell, asshole.
Oh, absolutely you can.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect. We encourage that around.
Yeah, I just realized how dumb that question was because that's all the game is. Just fuck you, damn, fuck.
Yeah, that's how you play Magic around here. I don't know how anybody else does
Magic,
it.
yeah.
But that's how you know how it works. Yeah, it's easy. He knows all the rules. So control decks typically are blue and white.
Okay.
White having a lot of interaction where it will take all the things that are in play on the table and just get rid of them. Just dumpster them so that everybody's hard work is for nothing. And then you can rebuild faster than your opponents, thus winning because you can control the flow using blue cards, which have counter spells or things that will undo all the hard work, putting things back in their hands. You'll always have more resources than your opponents because they're going to be drawing lots and lots of cards. And typically in a game of Magic, the person that uses the most mana to play the most spells will win the game.
I feel like Network Ryan would be a control deck guy.
He was. He was at first, but when we started doing the show, I think he kind of leaned more into a thematic combo player. And he does sort of the same thing that...
Combo. That's fun.
What he'll do is he'll build, oh, don't worry, it's just crabs. and then he'll kill you with some grease bag infinite combo. Or don't worry.
It's just crabs. That's a control move, dude. That's a control move.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. See, he's learning. Or, oh, don't worry, guys. It's just mill. Oops. It's actually infect. Which I know Gary doesn't know what that is, but people who out there who know are like, fucking Ryan, what a piece of trash.
I know enough about infections to know you don't want them.
See? My man. Just saying. Now, nobody wants infect. It's a perfectly valid deck type, but it's not necessarily the thing that you want in your life.
I feel like I don't want a control deck.
You don't want a control deck? Because it does have the social aspect that I know you like and are good at, but it's also got like a bit of a stigma. And I hate to say that because like people, control players.
That was a good impression. What is the video game comparison?
The video game comparison to a control deck would be like playing a Final Fantasy game.
See, and I love those. Where you gotta,
right? See,
you gotta talk to people.
You're talking to people.
You're questing. You're always questing.
You're always questing on your way from point A to point B to do your thing,
and your friends, and
but
killing people in the way.
In a lot of cases, you're just doing your own shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. See, I love Final Fantasy, but I don't know if I like control decks.
Maybe it's more of a World of Warcraft.
That might be
because you're interacting with more people. Because you're interacting with everybody, but you're still on the quest to do the thing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a great.
There we go. It's a World of Warcraft situation. So now we're playing WoW. So we're either playing Borderlands or WoW.
So far, Borderlands is in front. WoW, not for me.
Okay.
Couldn't really handle it.
Let's move on to our next archetype.
Okay.
And I'm changing my order on the fly here. We're going to do combo next.
Okay.
Because combo is Final Fantasy.
All right, now we're cooking.
You're on a quest, and you don't give a shit about other players.
Oh, so this is straight up. You're taking 4 fighters and you're just destroying everyone. There's no time for magic. We're all armored up. We got huge ass weapons, and we are destroying your soul.
You're going in. You're gonna get what's the guy's name? Vaughn Valdez. I could never remember the villain in Final Fantasy 1. Does any?
Oh, Garland.
Garland, yes.
Juan Valdez.
Juan Valdez. What the hell am I thinking about?
So good. Juan Valdez. Sounds like the guy who made coffee for the first time. Was it Nabob or something like that? It's like our master coffee man, Juan Valdez, made this incredible.
Mr. Folgers shows up
in your cup.
Yeah, everybody's out there. Mr. Horton, you Canadian, you bunch of Canucks. I can't even do a Canadian accent. I can do a cowboy guy. I've been working really hard on my Irish accent, and it's not very good yet, but I'm working on it. But I can't do it.
Good.
I can't do a stereotypical Canadian accent. Only the one that I already have.
I think we are the stereotypical Canadian. It's just saying a lot. Say lots of A.
Do you?
You know what I'm saying? A?
No, I've never heard you say that.
Haven't I been saying it?
No.
Brixie, do I say A a lot?
No.
All right, I take it back.
See, maybe we're just atypical out here. That's why we're.
Maybe I'm just saying it wrong. Maybe I say it like that. The letter A. A.
A.
You are atypical with that response.
Oh, no, I've stepped into a trap.
Kind of like a dual threat deck that we were talking about? Is that the one that we're on?
Combo deck.
Sorry, combo deck.
Combo
dual
deck.
Threat? Combo deck, yes.
Combo deck. We talked about these last week. They're the Rube Goldberg machines.
I love those machines so much. We talked about this before the beginning of Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes.
Oh, I love those
Or
things.
Back to the Future, or any of those things where it's like you just have
Mousetrap. It's a giant game of Mousetrap.
Great big machine that just builds toast. And it does the deck is basically designed to do the one thing every time, and every single card in it is a piece to either make it happen or find the things that'll make it happen to get you to the point where you want to be. That's the dredge deck we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That's a subset of combo. Some of them will be in air quotes aggro combo. That would be like a goblin deck where you're gonna
goblins.
Your whole point is to do a bunch of stuff, make a billion goblins, and kill you. Now,
fun.
I'm going to make a bunch of combo players really mad.
Uh-oh.
Typically, they're they're the most linear deck type because your deck is designed really to do one thing, and it might have some backup stuff. But like when you sit down, you're going to say, "This is my Tendrils of Agony Storm combo deck," which is
la-di-da. Look at me with my Tendrils of Agony.
There you go, right? And you're going to play a bunch of spells. You can play a whole bunch of spells and play one thing that then makes you win the game. You're going to take one great big turn and win the game.
So it's all about building up to that one big turn.
Yes. I would say All decks are social. I would say that the combo deck is the one that gives the least fucks about the other people at the table.
I like that.
They're only there for you to mow them down.
That's nothing but a target.
Exactly. They're just bodies for you to create sandbags out of.
All right.
It's like you don't want the water to get into your front door. What are you going to use to block it? Your friends.
Next to their bodies.
Yeah, that's combo. That's combo
pretty metal,
is.
Dude.
Right,
that's a metal.
Right,
deck.
that's pretty hardcore.
Okay.
And there's lots of different ways you can do it. There's lots of different things that lots of people come up with these. These are the ones that are funny. I had one that was a breaking dam where I used this one card that when it had flying, you sacrificed it and all the islands went away, and then I used all the islands going away to make my team big. And it was ridiculous. Like, these are the decks that are just insane. You're going to make 100 chairs and then pull all the legs off and then kill everybody, right? Put them in a bag and beat people. Like, combo decks are crazy and they're lots of fun. They're a little bit more intense to play because there is a lot of moving pieces. But they can be a lot of fun, and they can be as intricate or as simplistic as you want them to be. That's what a combo deck is.
I like that.
Does that sound kind of?
This might be somewhere where I could get to.
Okay, we like that one. Now here's the one based solely on video game similarity that I think we're gonna get you.
Okay,
is the Voltron deck, and the Voltron deck is akin to your Hollow Knights, your Metroids, your Mega Mans, where you have your main character, and the point of the deck is to make your main character as big and bad and kick ass as possible so that you can then use that character to kill all your friends. In the game, not in real life.
Of course.
Very important.
Like your Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yes.
But I like how we say Voltron.
Yeah, your Megazord.
OG, yeah.
Yeah, I get you could call it a Megazord deck, I guess, if you were so inclined. Are you, LB, are you a Megazord or a Voltron guy? Do you know what either of those things are?
Power Rangers? You ever hear of the Power Rangers?
No.
Okay. Yeah, the big bad guy.
They have
the guy they turn into.
They have Zords. They got the Power Rangers have the robots or the cars that they drive in. They all go together to make the big robot. Jesus Christ, do kids really not know about Megazords? Brooksy, do you know about this? Oh, thank God.
I don't know, it looks like her fake smile. Yeah.
Wait, does she not know?
No, she doesn't. Of course she does.
Okay, so you saw them make the big Zord and they fought in the city?
Yeah, they all morph mightily.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
With power.
3 out of 4 ain't bad. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
We're back.
So that's what a Voltron deck is.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is you're going to have your commander creature. That's the card that it decides what colors your deck can be. And in a sense, people can usually tell what kind of deck you're playing based on it being based on your commander.
Yeah.
And you want to play him, and then the rest of your deck is built to support it in killing your opponents. Now, it's a very swingy, very high-risk type of magic, because once your commander gets killed enough times, you can't play it anymore. Now, what does your deck do? In a lot of cases, not as much as it probably should.
Not a lot.
Not a lot in a lot of cases. So you got to be careful playing this. But I know you like gambling. And that's what Voltron magic is you're going to kill one person, and then you're just going to be out of the game for goddamn ever, and someone's going to be really upset with you, or you're going to win the game. Or you're not. You're just not. You're just going to not win the game.
So it feels like there's not a lot of opportunities for winning.
Oh, there are. The opportunity is there.
It is there?
It is there.
Okay. But it's not as common.
The reason that
per se,
the reason why it's an archetype at all. In Commander, you have 40 life.
Yeah.
And the main way that you beat your opponents is by removing their 40 life from them. But there are some decks that are designed to pad that life total by gaining more life.
Okay.
And it's not super unheard of. We have our buddy 5-color Mono White Angel Aaron loves life gain decks.
Of course.
So it's not unheard of to see him at 200-300 life. So the combo.
Hold on, starting with 40 and getting all the way up to the hundreds.
Yeah, oh yeah,
crazy.
It's not unheard of. It's more common than I'm willing to admit. but it does feel really good when you still take them down, right?
I was just thinking, I've watched Sidewalk Slam, and those 40s were always just at 40, so no one must have been playing those big, giant numbers. Okay.
Typically, life gain decks are not really prevalent because they can make games go pretty long in a lot of cases, because it's like, what are you doing besides gaining life? Well, not much of anything, but you're just kind of
making it longer. What's it called? You're delaying the inevitable.
Yeah. And in sometimes those attrition games do work, because like, I've got 200 life, you're doing 20 a turn, you have 40 and I'm doing 10, you're going to die before I do, right?
That was a lot of math. I don't know.
I hit you with a lot of brandonomics there.
We love brandonomics.
Brandology. There we go.
Yeah, brandology. You can't see him.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
But your Voltron decks were designed to deal with that situation where, like, I'm unkillable, because if you hit somebody for 21 damage with a commander, they die. And it doesn't matter how much life they have. It doesn't matter what they've got in play. If they can lose and you hit them for 21 over a course of a game,
that's it.
They're dead now.
That's just the rules.
That's just the rules of the game.
Okay.
And so typically these decks are found, usually they'll have green in them or white, because they have kind of overall the biggest dudes.
Yeah.
We're
talking the monsters. These are the big dogs.
These are like the giant dinosaurs and the huge angels and the fucking UFOs that come out of the sky and shit angels out the side of them while they laser the ground to kill the unstoppable army of zombies covered in fucking metal.
Any Glarps?
Glarp is not a Voltron commander, no. He is a...
We love Glarp.
Yeah, he's a... What would he be?
Besides a handsome fella.
Besides just the most devastatingly handsome. If you come into our Discord, by the way, I now go by his moistness. Brando.
People love that word.
Because that's what they call Glarb.
Yeah.
He is his moistness because he's king of the frogs.
He's frog king.
And I'm like, that's awesome. I want to do that. And because I have the power and I can do whatever I want, you could be whoever you want to be on the internet. His moistness.
Listen to He-Man.
That's me.
You do have the power.
Thank you. Yes, it's very good. Voltron.
I think Voltron, man.
Glarb is not the one, but I used to play a Uriel the Miststalker deck. That's a pretty classic Voltron deck. It's a creature that's big, very difficult to interact with and remove.
Yeah.
And he can get very large very quickly, destroy your opponent. Our buddy Big Ben plays a Brunner Battlehammer deck.
I like that. That sounds metal.
Same kind of deal. It's very, very easy to make him large over and over again if you need to, and then kill your opponents with him. I currently run a Tana the Butt Sewer deck. I just love saying it like that.
Tana the Butt Sewer.
But she's designed to kind of solve, in my eyes, the Voltron problem of when you kill that one player, everyone's like, holy shit, that creature's dangerous, and they just won't let it do anything ever again.
Yeah.
Where once it does the thing and kills somebody, it leaves behind an army that you can then use to get the other two people.
Wow.
So that's
like the Army of Darkness.
Yes.
The Walking Dead, if you will.
Yeah, and I will. Okay. So there's ways around it. Voltron is, I think it's probably the least played archetype in Magic.
Maybe that's the one to go with. Maybe we bring the spotlight back to Voltron.
Does that sound like a deck that you'd like? That sound pretty good?
Man, they all sound good. That's the problem.
They're all good,
right?
And they're all.
What do typical beginners start with?
I think that the typical beginner starts with aggro because everybody thinks that it's the easiest deck type to play.
Okay. Are there any advantages to starting without the easiest deck type to play?
You gain a substantially higher level knowledge of how Magic rules work. Okay. If you were to start with a combo, because typically what combos will do, they'll break the rules. Yes. That's what makes them so good. Is they're designed to do more things in a way that play one land, do this thing. They're designed to get around, circumvent all that crap.
Yeah.
Right? That's what. Yeah. So they're ones that you're going to learn more about the mechanics of the game. If you want to get a real deep look at the phases of a turn, the points of interaction, how things kind of interact with one another while they're happening, You're going to learn all about that with a control deck.
So maybe...
Because a control deck is designed to interact at those nexus points, right?
Yeah, totally.
Here's where something's happening. You're going to do something about it with your deck.
And then you learn.
Yes. And then you get an education in Magic by doing that. A aggro deck, you're going to learn about threat assessment, when to attack, where to attack. You're going to learn that your dude's dying isn't necessarily the worst thing that's ever happened. You're going to learn about sacrificing your guys. Like you're going to resource management, if you will. All decks have resource management, but I think that aggro has the most easy to understand type of resource management.
So that's sort of why it's the best entry point for most people.
Because I think resource management is one of the things that people struggle with. Like, I don't want my guy to die. I played him and I don't want him to die. Fuck that. Because you know what? Him being in your bin and your opponents are dead, good.
That's it.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Aggro, the belief is, here I'm just selling you on aggro, as long as you have one life left and everybody else is dead, who cares? Because you're alive and they're dead.
And you win.
Just like real life. As long as you're alive and everybody else is dead, you've won.
You'll be a little lonely.
You're right. Okay. Maybe not in real life. Maybe not aggro in real life. Maybe not.
Dang.
And then Voltron is a combination of the three.
Okay.
It's a kind of
the hybrid.
In a lot of cases, it's kind of a simplistic combo that everybody can see because it's centered around this one thing.
Yep.
You got to use some of your control can be active or reactive, where you're actively controlling what other players are doing, or you're preemptively reacting to what they might do to you. You can't kill my guy because X. You try and kill my guy, well, Y, etc.
Yeah.
Right? And then what's the other one? I missed the other one.
Voltron?
What did Voltron?
Did control,
did aggro. And then combo, you're just like chilling. Combo's chilling. It's hard mentally because you gotta know when.
It's not for me, then.
You gotta know
it's
when.
Not for me.
I think that you might,
Oh.
It's a hard jumping in point. Nobody starts with Belcher combo. I know you don't know what that is, but lots of other people also don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But it's fucking crazy, is what it is.
How much time do we have left on the show?
We've got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So I've told you about the 4 basic types. I've told you relatively the kind of interaction you're going to have with your friends at the table.
Yep.
Do any of those sound like something that our good friends in the nation could begin a typical build with you? Start a list of commanders, maybe. What kind of video game do you like to play that you always have fun doing? What's your favorite video game that there is?
You're not going to like this.
Comfort game. You're going to sit down. Like, I had a rough day, Yeah. I just want to sit down on my couch, get blazed up, and play a fucking video game. What's the game?
Man, it's probably the game I played most in my entire life because I've been doing it every Tuesday for how many years? But it would be NES Open Golf, the 8-bit Nintendo. It's soothing. It's comforting. It helps me unwind.
Why wouldn't I like that?
Well, just because it doesn't really play into any of these archetypes that we're looking for.
Of course it does.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Of course it does.
We just solved it.
Gary,
Okay,
as if I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert, but I play one on this podcast. So you play typically by yourself, NES Open, but I know every Tuesday you play with your friend.
That's true. Big boy.
Big boy comes over, right?
Yeah.
Comes over and you guys play together. And you compete with one another.
Yeah.
But it's fairly friendly. There's a mild amount of interaction with him. You care about what he's doing, but you don't necessarily want to interact with it per se. And if things get really intense, maybe you'll hit him in the head with a cue ball and a sock.
I like
because you really want to take that game down.
Okay.
That's an aggro game, Gary.
Am I an aggro guy?
NES Open is an aggro video game.
Wow. I'm an aggro guy.
You're an aggro guy.
I'm an aggro guy.
You're an aggro guy.
Are you going to take me under your wing like the young Padawan that I am?
I would take you under my muscly wing, and by the time I'm finished, you'll have 13 abs.
Finally.
Wait, 13 pecs.
That's a lot of
You
pecs.
can only have 8 abs, but 13 pecs, that's where you could be there.
Where do all the pecs go?
Well, they just kind of, like the first two are kind of here, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of them kind of like tuck underneath.
I got you.
Right? Like,
yeah. Exactly like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. If you were watching on YouTube, you'd see that.
Which is jumping.
There it is.
Whew.
There we go.
Set me up. Aggro.
Aggro. I think that you might be an aggro guy. And I'm not even saying that because I sold you on it, but that is based on the favorite comfort game.
We have expert analysis on the record that shows us this is where I should be going.
We scienced it.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes.
You brandologized it.
Yes, that's right. And I think that is a good jumping in point. And as we said, it is the typical kind of on-ramp type of deck, which is good.
Yep.
But what is, and this is, I'm not asking you this, I'm asking the nation out here. What kind of aggro deck would we build for our good friend Gary, producer Gary, so he can play it on Sidewalk Slam as we teach him how to play Magic? Based on what he is about to, I'm going to ask him some more stuff, and he's going to tell you. So please, in the comments, get at us. What kind of deck should we build for him?
Yes.
I know that we got some dudes out there. We got All Filler, No Chiller Miller. He loves building decks like this. Our boy T Coates is all about doing this kind of thing for people. And there's lots of other people out there who just are really, really good at this. And we want you to fucking be part of this. So
the nation is so fucking sweet, man.
We're converting a guy.
I've been converted.
Look at this guy. He loves sports. He's a sports guy. And he's coming over to the side of the light.
It's
right. The nerds won. We got him. We got him. Help us out.
Yes. All the yes.
Yes.
All
there
yes.
It is.
I got nothing else to say. Yes.
So when you are gaming in general,
yes,
are you chill or are you a little bit more intense? That doesn't mean jumping up like Brooksy and saying,
Smash Bros, yeah.
I'm going to destroy you. I'm the best. And then when you lose, you go, oh, man, you cheated. You unplugged my controller.
The sorest loser. The sorest.
So I can dunk on her because she's way over
she's
there.
Right there. So
I'm not afraid of her when she's way over there.
That's right.
But, so how do you do? Do you like to be really hyper aggressive, like right out the gate? Do you want to just get in there? Or do you want to like take your time and like kind of let it roll?
See, and if I'm with, these flies, I was going to say we almost got through it without the flies, but I saw they just started moving in on us.
Goddamn scum.
If I'm playing like Overwatch, I get aggressive. I'm going in there and I'm going to blow it up. It's like, team, you better follow me because I'm not doing any other strategy but going in there and destroying everyone.
Okay.
But if I'm NES opening, it's a slow build up. I'm not too aggressive, but I will take some aggressive shots at some points if the round calls for it.
Okay, I like that. You get aggressive when necessary. If you were playing have you ever played Call of Duty?
Yes.
Were you like grab the helicopter and then not let anybody else onto it and then crash it into their spawn point and hope you kill them?
I have done that numerous
Or
times.
were you like a noob tube guy where you just like launching grenades over the building and hope they die? Or were you
also would do that where I'd sit on the top of the stairs and just launch the grenades down, and at the bottom of the stairs, if everyone run in front of you, just pop them. Sort of greasy like that, but that's because I'm so bad I was bad at Call of Duty.
See, I'm also very bad at it as well.
Yeah, it's like
that's why the two strategies that I just said, those were the two things that I did. Actually, in what the hell was it? Was it Call of Duty or Medal of Honor? I figured out like you can drive the boat. So instead of going and storming the beach, like I was supposed to, I swam out and got in the boat and then just crashed the boat into another boat. And hoped that
it's such a sweet move though because it's explosions.
Right? It was so awesome. I was so proud of myself.
But
my team did not. They definitely kicked me off. They just kicked me out of the game.
It's bad when you stray from the team when they're really trying hard to stay together.
Yeah,
and I'm very angry.
Why is Brando out there driving the goddamn boat? It's like,
shut up, guys! See the boat? Like
that was awesome.
Why are you not out there?
Yeah, you should have been watching. It was dope. What I did. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so you get a little aggressive sometimes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you often run into situations? Put yourself into a situation in a video game that is difficult to get out of.
Yes.
And how do you react to those situations?
Swearing. I curse.
You swear it. Do you panic? Or are you a problem solver? Do you like to have those answers ready?
Do you know what I like to do? And this, I'm using Overwatch as a good example of this. When I rush in and I get into those tight situations and all of a sudden your team isn't with you and you're like 3v1, I like to use different maneuvers because sort of each character has that maneuver to get you out of it. Like if you're a Mei, you can do your freeze to heal, or if you're like a tracer, obviously you can trace back out. And like these characters that you choose have the ability to get you out of those situations. That's why I allow myself to get into them.
So you kind of rely on your sort of main character ability.
Yes, and learning
to
use it properly. Yes.
Okay,
so it's like trial by error is how I learned that.
Okay,
if it makes sense.
So you're making the aggressive to calculating the aggressive moves.
Yeah.
You like to rely on your character's special ability to get you through.
Yeah.
If that ever fails you, do you find it's just like, okay, damn it, I died. I'll try it again. I got 99 lives. Let's just throw that same shit at it again.
Yes.
Or do you like to have the ability to work with some of the other intricacies of the game, and you're going to find a kind of the same but different? In Elden Ring, I can't beat this boss, so I'm going to go find a new weapon and try it again. Where do you fall on that? Or are you just like, this is my setup, this is what I like, this is what I'm going to do? Or are you, okay, let's find another way around this situation?
I think I am. Let's find another way around the situation.
Okay.
As far, and I know it's sort of like going against what I've been saying, but as you describe that, in that type of situation with the boss you can't beat, I would never just keep going back, thinking I could do it. I'm like, all right, clearly I need something here to beat this guy.
Okay. All right. So I'm not going to say this isn't a get good moment, but it's like you're not going to rely so heavily on one strategy and commit so heavily to one thing.
Yes.
That if that thing fails you, you are unable.
Yes.
To press forward.
Yes.
Okay. So we've got all right, so I think I'm trying to think so we've got what kind of a deck we're going to play. We've got what kind of a commander we're going to use. We've got the overall focus of the strategy of the deck.
Yes.
So now we've got to work on colors. Now I don't know if I can. How can I do colors and video game references in 5 minutes? That's 1 minute per color, and then you have to pick one. Holy shit. Okay. White. And I'm going to make so many people angry with this.
Here we go.
This is
good.
White is the Sega Genesis of Magic colors,
which is actually black.
Yes,
in real life, but I see what you're saying.
But in this case, it's a stalwart.
Okay.
It doesn't necessarily get all the credit that it deserves.
I'm not a Sega Genesis guy.
Yeah, it's not your thing, but you can acknowledge its contributions.
Absolutely.
To the game as a whole.
I've enjoyed playing games on the system.
Okay. Blue is your high-end gaming PC.
Oh boy.
It can do all the things, and the people who have them sometimes will very much like to let you know that they have them.
PC gamers are the worst. Can we say that?
Yeah, we can.
Just kidding. We love PC gamers.
There's lots of PC gamers out there that are listening to this, but I said we're going to make everybody mad with
that's
this.
The elite level when it comes to gaming. If you're on PC, you mean business.
Yeah, that's you're
talking about FPS, you got something going on.
Yeah, you're doing something and you want to do it as good as you possibly can. Yes. Typically that's your blue. Okay. Your black is like your OG Xbox with a mod chip in it.
Yeah.
It can do everything, but maybe not in the manner that it's meant to be done. You're gonna find a way to play that game, but you're not necessarily gonna go to the video store and buy one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to GameStop, Toys R Us for this shit.
No.
You're
in the back. You're in dark alley.
Yeah,
by a dumpster.
You're in Vim's lair.
You
know what's up. Our boy Brookman knows all about that one.
Hell yeah.
Green is your GameCube.
Okay.
Right? Fun for everyone. You can get into it. It can do all the things. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It's just there. If you like it, you really like it. If it's not your thing, then maybe it's not.
Okay.
Red? Oh man, how do I? Because red is my favorite. So how do I not just call it the Super Nintendo of colors, thereby crowning it as the pinnacle of?
I'm surprised you went so fast to Super Nintendo without even mentioning Sega Saturn.
Well,
I know you love your Sega Saturn.
I love my Sega Saturn. Yeah. That's a good thing.
But
actually,
it's no Super Nintendo. I know.
You know what? Let's call red the Sega Saturn of Magic colors, and here's why. It's not just because it's my favorite. It's not just because it's the one that I'm playing the most right now. It's because it's a color that typically and before was kind of marginalized, like white was. it was just sort of pushed off to the side, and it was there, and it had its contributions, and everybody kind of knew about it.
Never really got
but it didn't have the chance that it deserved to be good. But in recent years, it's been rediscovered, reimagined. New things have been added to it. So a new generation of people have seen it and know that it has a lot more to offer than was initially thought. And that's kind of red. It can sort of do all the things, maybe not as good as some of the other colors, but it's all there. It's got everything it needs to do the thing. So of those colors, the descriptions I've given,
yes,
are you drawn to any of them? Keeping in mind that a deck can be any one or all of the 5 colors. Do any of those kind of...
Man.
There's a lot. That's a big question.
It's a lot to take in. And I know we're up against the clock here, as we don't get editor Joe mad. Does he get mad still?
He still gets mad if we go too long. But I think that because he understands the importance of this question.
Yes.
And because this is a community thing.
I'm going to say red.
Red? You like red the best?
And do you know why I'm going to say red?
Tell me.
Because we compared it to both Super Nintendo and Sega Saturn.
Hell yeah.
And that makes me happy. And it's also your favorite. And I think that we like a lot of the same stuff.
Okay, all right. I like that. And do any of the other ones kind of jump out? Like, yeah, kind of little sprinkle of this, little sprinkle of that?
Maybe a little bit of the Sega Genesis just because it's the other side of the Super Nintendo.
Okay, little red-white action. Okay, so we've got hyper-aggressive, but with room to move. We've got a commander with a useful ability, and a deck that isn't so focused on being aggressive and relying on its commander that if those two things don't work, it has nothing else going on. So you got to be a little bit versatile.
Yep.
It's in the Boros color pie. CCO Nation, we're going to teach this man to play Magic with that deck I just described to you, and we're all going to build it together. So get in the Discord. Best way to do that, patreon.com/CCO Podcast. It'll get you in there. If you have suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. If you're not on Patreon, that's absolutely fine. We do read all the comments. We appreciate them, and we love you for taking part in our ridiculousness. If you've got an actual list you think that we should look at that maybe Gary could play, send it to commandercookout@gmail.com, and we'll take a look at it there. We're going to get this going. We're going to make it happen, and I think we're all going to have a lot of fun doing it.
Very excited.
Yes, it's a good time. So, and if you want to buy some of the cards that you're going to suggest to either of us, you can get them at fusiongamingonline.com. Use special promo code CCO Summer. Save 5% off all that kind of good stuff. You can also grab some super cool beers that were handed to us by the lovely Brooksy, who I totally didn't roast at any point during this episode. That's right. And you can get those from Pile of Bones or anywhere better booze is sold in Western Canada. I think they have some penetration into Northern America as well. So please be on the lookout for those. They're very delicious, and they are the sponsors of Sidewalk Slam Season 2 here on YouTube that Gary will appear on with the deck that we talked about building just now. So be a part of all of that. And we're going to be back next week. I think Ryan's coming back, but you never know. This always is a surprise when you watch the next episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!